Russell Wilson got a massive extension, a 5-year, $245 million extension with I think it's about $160 million of that guaranteed. So the huge question is, Russell Wilson got extended. What about Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson's still fighting for a contract here. He's now fighting with randoms on Twitter about some Twitter people are making claims that the Ravens offered him $250 million guaranteed, and Lamar said no, they didn't. So, okay, if you had to put a number on how much Lamar is worth right now, the way the contracts are looking for quarterbacks now, where would you range Lamar Jackson in contracts, and what do you think should be, Lamar's? What do you value Lamar at?
Well, based on the market, I think he's worth quite a bit because Kyler Murray got how much? $180 million.
He has the third most guaranteed money right now.
Yeah, and that was $180 million, I think, right?
It was. I'll look that up right now for just.
I mean, quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, Lamar. I put Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, and Lamar Jackson kind of in the same mold, right? They're very mobile quarterbacks.
$160 million guaranteed of $230.5 million
for
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray,
$160.5 million guaranteed.
And Russell Wilson got $160 million guaranteed too.
Let's see. Russell Wilson got $165 million guaranteed of $245.
Yeah. So I think that Lamar Jackson should be right there with them, very close. His problem is he doesn't have an agent. He's trying to do it himself.
Him and his mom are both working on his deal.
Yeah, well,
he's doing it within the family.
I think that when you're talking that kind of money, you need to bring in the professional people that do this for a living. I think he would have gotten his deal done if he'd done that instead of trying to do it himself.
It's significantly harder because you're not working through a third party.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to save money by doing it. He doesn't have to pay the fee to the agent, but you get what you pay for.
You do.
Yeah,
you do.
So I think he's worth a lot. I think he's worth that kind of, given what the market is showing, he should be worth in that same range as Murray and Wilson. And I guess the problem he's not getting it is because he's trying to do it himself.
I think it could be, if I had to put a number on how much...
Was he ever offered a contract did they offer him anything?
There was no official number released, but Lamar's looking for a fully guaranteed deal. He's already said that. That's what he's looking for.
Well, nobody gets that.
The problem I have with
Kirk Cousins got a fully guaranteed deal.
And Deshaun Watson also has a fully guaranteed deal. But the Kirk Cousins thing is a 1 year, $35 million fully guaranteed. Right, yeah. My question is, since when are the Cleveland Browns trendsetters in the NFL? Why is every QB trying to push for a fully guaranteed deal just because Deshaun Watson did it?
Yeah, well, particularly with Cleveland, who their front office is a disaster.
Exactly. Yeah. Since when are the Cleveland Browns trendsetters?
Yeah.
No one should be saying, "Oh yeah," since Deshaun Watson.
Well, they are trendsetters. Nobody else has done it.
Well, the quarterbacks are now pushing for it. You have Lamar Jackson looking for it,
but they're not getting it.
Joe Burrow might expect one. Justin Herbert will probably expect one. All these guys are now going to be expecting massive deals. My feeling is if you get a $230 million contract and $165 million, $165 million is guaranteed, it's worth it. It's worth signing it. I'd sign it. Lamar Jackson's going for the most.
$165 million bucks. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but when you have a guy who right now was almost suspended a full year and is basically a defamed face in the NFL, making $230 million fully guaranteed.
They made a bad deal.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
They made a bad deal. I just don't think that others can look at that and say that's the trend.
Well, that's
not because nobody else got that.
Organizations will be looking at that and say, "Well, why the hell why should I do this? This makes no sense for us. Because what if you suck in 3 years and you're still making another $150 million that I got to pay you fully guaranteed?"
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The players are looking at that and saying, "Well, he is this type of person making this kind of money. I'm better than him. I should be making more money guaranteed than him."
I can understand that logic, but so far nobody has been able to pull it off besides Deshaun Watson.
And what I think Ravens fans should be fearing is, how long will the Ravens be as stingy as they will be by not giving Lamar Jackson the deal that he wants? Will they really push it to the 11th hour, the 59th minute, and the 59th second in free agency next year?
Well,
Because-
you
because
know
he's
what?
done-
They don't sign him this year, then he can go walk to any team.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Yeah, will
So
the Ravens really let him go because
they're
of that?
taking a risk.
They're taking a massive risk.
Yeah.
And just, I'm seriously
They may
concerned.
take that risk, thinking that they'll be able to sign him the beginning of next year. They'll get him one more year and a good deal, and they know he's going to play his heart out to get that big deal.
Do you think they'll franchise? Because I think they have the option of 2 franchise tags before they have to pay him or get rid of him. Do you think they'll franchise tag him in the next offseason because they can't get a deal done?
Probably. Why wouldn't they? I think
Lamar's looking for a deal.
That's going to alienate him. He's not going to be a happy person.
I would be a happy person if I knew how much I was. I knew a projection of what I was worth, and my team's telling me I'm not. Well, I think the franchise tag is somewhat of $47 million now.
Well,
So
I mean, the first time around, it's a business. I can kind of understand why they're holding out. So, but the second time around, you put the franchise tag on him. Now they're jerking him around. I think so. Then I think he'd be upset, and rightfully so. This time around, I think it's only fair game. This is business, And I don't know if his mother can get the deal done for him or not, but he might consider going out and finding an agent. Yeah.
I think that could be something, but I think if I had to put a number on how much Lamar's worth, I would give him probably what these extensions are going. I would go for 5 years. I would probably go if Deshaun Watson is making $230 million fully guaranteed, and I know Lamar Jackson's better than Deshaun Watson. I would probably go for a $300 million deal, and I would give him $235 million fully guaranteed.
You do that? I bet he'd sign that deal.
I would too. I mean, you're making almost $60 million a year.
Yeah.
Add it to 7 years. 7 years. Make it a fully long-term deal now. I wouldn't push it like a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes and go 10, 12 year, extension here.
Yeah, but then you get all kinds of salary cap problems if you don't make it long enough, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Go for like 7 years. Go for about, $290 million to $300 million.
That may be a little over the top for him.
I mean, look at what these quarterbacks are getting now. Patrick Mahomes signed a 10-year, $500 million deal.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is right up there with him. I think it's $470 million for 10, 12 years. So these quarterbacks are getting tremendous numbers, and Lamar Jackson is the greatest two-way player in the NFL's history.
Yeah, but you didn't rank him in the top 10
Because
quarterbacks.
I was listing quarterbacks. I think you need to have a serious talent at throwing the football, and everyone in my top 10 is a better thrower of the football than Lamar Jackson.
Well, that may be why he's not getting $290 million.
And that's what I'm saying. The Ravens are probably looking at it saying, you now just got hurt. You have had bad playoff runs. You just won your first playoff game. We'll give you that. But you've had a few very bad playoff games, ugly playoff losses, and you just got hurt. We're now worrisome because your type of player doesn't last long. So if I give you a long-term deal, what's my security that you'll stay healthy and stay as consistent as you will be?
I'd say his response to that is Russell Wilson has, and he just got a big deal, and he's no youngster. And Kyler Murray got the deal, and he's somebody who's back there running around and gets hit once in a while too.
Kyler Murray is the closest comparison. Russell Wilson went out there, won a Super Bowl. He is the most winningest quarterback since he entered the league. Him and Pete Carroll had the biggest winning percentage since they both entered I guess Russell Wilson went to the Seahawks. Both of them. Since they were paired up together, they've had the most wins in NFL history. So Russell Wilson
That's tailed off in the last couple of years.
No, it has definitely, because the Seahawks are just a complete mess now. You have a horrible defense. You have basically zero O-line that you tried to improve. Your running game is subpar. Your receivers are the only A-, B+ thing about you. Your defense isn't very good. You lost Bobby Wagner. Earl Thomas seems to be in football limbo. Who knows what's going on with him? Cam Chancellor retired. You got rid of all these great defensive players. You really got nobody. I think you might have had, if I'm not mistaken, Shaquille Griffin, who I think he's on the Jaguars now. Your defense is nothing, and you have a defensive head coach. Your defense is one of your lowest parts. You got absolutely shredded by the Jamal Adams trade. That was just a bad pickup. The Jets won that by 18,000 miles, that picks. They got a first-round pick out of it that became, I believe it was Garrett Wilson, the 10th overall pick.
Yeah.
So you got fleeced, and now you have a defensive head coach in an offensive league. I'm telling you, Geno Smith and Drew Lock, both of them are going to be screwed this year.
I
They're
think
gonna be
that those guys are not elite caliber quarterbacks, and they're not going to be. They're playing over. They're going to have to play over their heads to be competitive, and I don't think